T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Turkey sandwich, testing, T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Waiting on you, royal computer. I am waiting on you, royal computer. All right, now let me do a sound check. Lifting off. Elay accent free. Elay, are you there? Present. Okay, I can hear myself. Quality's coming in pretty darn good. So I can mute that and pause this. All right, that's paused. Welcome into another video. It is Saturday, November 29th, 2025, and we are approaching the last days of November. For some reason, I thought it was going to be 31 days in November because it just seems like it, the way we've been in such of a time warp. Might as well be another day added into November. Thank you guys for coming in. Happy Saturday. Today I'm going to be spending a little time talking about some things on Cartoon Network. Thank you for all the ones who came into the Spot the Difference Season 1 finale of Spot the Difference. That went off rather well. I put it together sometime last week, maybe Thursday or something. I put that together. Who knows? Sometime last week, I think it was Thursday, so it can be prepared for today. So Spot the Difference, we just finished watching that. For those of you who came in, thank you for joining me on the Spot the Difference season finale. And it's always available in replay. I had a fun time making the Spot Difference videos. I did 14 of them. Now I have to start looking around to see who I want to be in the Spot the Difference for Season 2. Season 1 consisted of 14 rounds, which was 7 weeks of action-packed fun on the weekends for Spot the Difference. Today I'm doing a little something different because I wanted to not just close that fun video out with that. I wanted to roll over into a live stream and talk about Cartoon Network. So of course this is a extra video. As soon as I put my earring in my ear, I can begin. Cartoon Network has changed a lot over the years, as things should change, but I'm not here for the scheduling. The scheduling is trash. Now, I have a playlist of Cartoon Network videos where I, go about my concerns, talking about why do you have, for example, Cartoonito on Cartoon Network. Because once upon a time, I thought Cartoonito had a own platform, like its own private streaming service, if that makes any sense. Like we have Nickelodeon, then we have Nick Jr., right? We have Disney, then we have Disney Jr. Why don't Cartoon Network keep those two separated? I have been so spoiled with how Cartoon Network scheduling used to be, well thought out, for every age bracket in mind. I am so spoiled to that, and I don't want to see them doing what they're doing now. I really was about to give Cartoon Network their flowers after they got rid of a segment of Cartoonito I ranted about in the beginning of the summer. Then they gonna turn around and put stupid Barney on. Come on. And in addition to that, this modern day Barney is even more trash than the last Barney. Y'all hear his voice is like, dur, 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 dur. I'm like, that is so not Barney. Where do I begin in this tragic tale? Is this becoming the downfall of Cartoon Network? Is this a sign that Cartoon Network is going under? Or is there fighting amongst the Cartoon Network creators and executives that we don't know about? but is it reflecting in how they are scheduling? So let me minimize this so I can start asking all my burning Cartoon Network questions. Let me get the window open so I can begin. There we go. I want to put this in order so I don't get lost. So my first question will be regarding Cartoon Network. Why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? Why is Cartoon Network's scheduling so terrible? You know, it would be befitting if I had some type of Cartoon Network onesie, but I haven't come across one yet. I found a BMO hoodie, but it's not a onesie, but that's the closest thing to something I like in reference to Cartoon Network cool clothes. So I looked on Amazon for it and blah blah blah, but I am wearing a cat dog onesie right now, and this will have to do, even though I am talking about Cartoon Network. So it says here, why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? Let me type it in. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. How's your day going? High five. Bam. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. So apparently I'm not the only one with this issue about Cartoon Network scheduling. I'm glad you're doing good. Excellent, excellent. Today is cat dog. Even though I'm talking about Cartoon Network, I'm wearing cat dog. Yep, cat dog. And it's got spots and stuff all around it as well. And this is comfortable too. Yeah, thank you for coming in. I haven't had this one on in a long time, so I forgot how comfortable it is. I thought it was going to be a little more fitting, but it's not. It's really comfortable. It's breathable, so if I fall asleep in it, I don't think I'd overheat. So that's cool. I was just talking about, I'm in the search for looking for a Cartoon Network onesie. I want a BMO one, but I want the BMO onesie to have a little more style to it. I've seen some BMO onesies, but they're kind of bland looking, so I'm going to have to opt for the BMO hoodie. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So my first question I wrote down is this. Why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? Cartoon Network scheduling is widely criticized. Oh yeah, is the music all right for y'all too? It's probably, it should be light music playing in the background. It's royalty free music, so I'll be okay. Why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? According to AI overview, Cartoon Network scheduling is widely criticized by fans. I'm one of them. Primarily due to a heavy reliance on reruns of a few popular shows, particularly Teen Titans Go. I like Teen Titans Go as well, but they do play it a lot. Teen Titans Go have so many episodes now, they could actually have their own TV channel. They could have their own show, which often results in lack of variety and neglect of other quality programming. This issue is a result of a combination of business decisions, the rise of streaming services, and executive mismanagement. I think I need to go into my YouTube studio and act this video to Cartoon Network as I express my grievances and concerns about their scheduling and who knows what else. So I'm going into my I'm going into the YouTube studio right now, and I'm going to add Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network. And perhaps this will help them turn the car around. They need to been turned the car around. Cartoon Network, we don't need you to fall off. We need you. We need you. We need you. And let me pull back up my video, my video, so I can not miss tabs. Hello, thank you for coming in. How are you doing today? Today we're talking about Cartoon Network. Dang it, I missed the tab. I had to wait for it to come around again. So I am reading from my Chromebook, and I'm streaming from my cellular phone. So that'll help me kind of not lose touch of you guys out here. Cartoon Network scheduling is widely criticized by fans primarily due to a heavy reliance on reruns of a few popular shows, particularly Teen Titans Go. Let's see here. We've got Teen Titans Go, which is on way too much, my opinion, even though it is a good show. Which often results in a lack of variety and neglect of other quality programming. This issue is a result of a combination of business decisions, the rise of streaming services, and executive mismanagement. So we're already going out with problems. It said it right here, executive mismanagement. Now, before I started getting into it all, I was wondering if this poor scheduling was a reflection / a sign of Cartoon Network having issues behind the scenes with corporate and so on, because the scheduling is trash. So my next thing is to write, Teen Titan Goes airs too much. Teen Titans Go airs too much. And then point number 3, before we can even get started into the swing of things, it said this is a result of a combination of business decisions, the rise of streaming services, and executive mismanagement. Is there executive mismanagement going on in corporate Cartoon Network? Is there executive, and I'm putting that in quotations, EXECUTIVE, mismanagement at Cartoon Network. So that's another good question. This paragraph just gave me a whole bunch of stuff to already dig into, not even touching the rest of the answer that AI have already provided. Isn't that something? So I'm gonna take a nice little breath and take my time and get into all things Cartoon Network. Some of my things are missing on here. Come on. I tell you, stuff is disappearing. My computer is alive. Stuff is disappearing and new messages are reappearing. What a wonderful world, y'all. What a wonderful world. Let's see here. Let me find a, I'm looking for something on here. Like, oh, look at, that's a little sheep. Oh my goodness, that's so cute. I want to I'll put an animal right there. And put that in there and send. And then next I'm going to put some flowers. Tulip. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. So key reasons for the perceived poor scheduling in reference to Cartoon Network. Oversaturation of cash cows. Exactly. The case in point, Teen Titans Go is always on. Good morning to you. Thank you for coming in. The time is 12:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is November 29th, 2025. Thank you for coming in. Good morning to you as well. Oversaturation of cash cows. The network has historically leaned heavily into airing its highest rated episode shows like Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball, often at the expense of a balanced lineup. Balanced lineup. Welcome in from Sydney, Australia. That is so cool how we are all on different time zones. That is such a wonderful thing, and I don't think I'll ever get used to that, and that's a good thing. This planet is huge, man. It's like lunchtime here. It's 12:42 p.m. hamburger time for like McDonald's and Burger King. It's time for lunch, and you're saying good morning. I hope you're having a good breakfast. So it says here, the network has historically leaned heavy into airing its highest rated episodic shows like Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball, often at the expense of a balanced lineup. A balanced lineup, yeah, so it's tomorrow. A future. Future. Someone's in the future. This strategy, while likely profitable from a rating standpoint, alternates viewers looking for diverse content, and I'm one of the viewers who are looking for diverse content in relation to Cartoon Network constantly saying, well, right here, the cash cows playing Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball. I thought it was funny because maybe 2 to 3 summers ago, Amazing World of Gumball was just hitting it. They were like, coming up next on Cartoon Network is The Amazing World of Gumball, followed by The Amazing World of Gumball. And then I'm like, you might as well keep on saying that because you guys are going to play The Amazing World of Gumball from noon till 5 o'clock. Coming up next is The Amazing World of Gumball, followed by The Amazing World of Gumball, followed by The Amazing World of Gumball. I'm like, come on. I tell you, man, it's just like, so it admitted that, it's an oversaturation of cash cow TV shows. Rise of streaming services. I still don't think that Cartoon Network would have taken a Mass Effect hit had they not been so solely driven on money. And it's all, guys, it's the greed of it all that crumbles a good thing. If they just kept the program running business as usual, I don't think Cartoon Network would have had any issues as far as transitioning while a new player was entered into the realm of entertainment and social media. So I think if they just kept doing their thing, they wouldn't have felt competition. They would have easily welcomed it and embraced it and would have been able to just expand. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for coming in. Long time no see. Thank you for coming in yesterday too, Megan. And so that's what I think. The streaming platform would have been just another bonus extension of Cartoon Network for them to allow all of their really cool cartoons a room to breathe or to provide some type of extension. It would have done them a favor, not a disservice. Greedy and lazy. Exactly. That's what I felt too before I started reading this information that AI Overview was providing. I want to make sure I bookmark this for future reference. So let me get my my Cartoon Network's bookmark up here really quickly so I can save it in the right folder. Cartoon Network, where are you? I'm looking for you, Cartoon Network folder. I'm looking for you. She's looking for you, girl. Let's see, Cartoon Network, Cartoon Network. Okay, so Cartoon Network. Bam. There we go, and save. Yes, it's been a while. So we have the rise of streaming services, because how I got these answers, I have, why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? This is the second reason or response to why Cartoon Network scheduling is so terrible. Rise of streaming services. The shift of the target demographic to streaming platforms like Max, formerly HBO Max, has significantly impacted traditional TV viewership. Many shows that could have aired on the main channel were moved to streaming, reducing the available broadcast content and leading to more repeats on cable. That is so messed up. Why should cable people have to suffer because you guys want to go jump on streaming? I think if they really had a powwow meeting and really balance their resources out, the people who are still paying for cable would not feel some type of way. You know, cable payers are pretty darn loyal. They're shelling out money monthly, or some of them pay it quarterly or what have you. But to be paying all this money for cable and then for Cartoon Network to start watering down all of the wonderful options that they once afforded us to be able to have, as far as on the entertainment tip of it all, that's trash. Here's another reason, y'all. Y'all ready? Executive decision and mismanagement. Just like you said, greedy and lazy. So this greedy and lazy, your answer for greedy and lazy, this paragraph might expound a little bit more on your answer, because that's a good answer. I thought the same thing too. I'm like, that's all it is them being super greedy. Executive decisions and mismanagement. Fans often point to poor executive decisions, such as abruptly canceling popular shows like OK, KO, Let's Be Heroes. And I thought that show was so good. OK, KO, Let's Be Heroes. And it was in the grocery store. How could they? That show was amazing. I really liked that show. Executive decisions and mismanagement. Fans often point to poor executive decisions, such as abruptly canceling popular shows like OK, KO, Let's Be Heroes, or Infinity Train. Infinity Train was in my one. I don't remember which streaming service, but I have it saved in my watch list, like one of my things to go to have on in the night as background. I thought that was good too. So they canceled Infinity Train, or giving them unfavorable time slots and minimum promotion. The 2022 merger of Warner Media, iRoll, and Discovery further complicated the situation, leading to content purges and operational shifts. It seemed like after Chowder came out, Chowder had a good run, but to me it seemed like Chowder was the last of the cartoons that actually got honored correctly, far as fair runtime, fair promotion, fair merchandise. You could buy it on DVD if you wanted to. The DVD commercials ran. But after Chowder, it seemed like everything just changed. It seemed like the doors of Cartoon Network from the days of old, that was it. And like after the next rollout of cartoons came out, everything started moving super fast. I didn't have time to gather myself to see what was going to come on in the lineup. It just was like, we've got a new cartoon coming out tomorrow, and boom, it was there, and I will miss it. And I'm like, where's the commercial at? I'll go on Cartoon Network and try to find the schedule. Is it me, or am I the only one who goes to Cartoon Network and don't understand their schedule? So shouts out to Chowder, because it seemed like that was the last cartoon who actually got fair airplay and fair promotion, which goes into what this article was saying. Poor executive decisions, or abruptly canceling shows, or giving them unfavorable time slots and minimal promotion. There's questions in here that I want to ask. Thank you. It's cat dog. Exactly. It's really neat. It's comfortable too. Yeah, I saw that you made more videos. Y'all keep up the good work of cranking them out. I'm glad you're staying creative over there. No love, no care. And then I had, during this abrupt transition with Cartoon Network, what made me feel okay about the abrupt transition and how Cartoon Network was distributing its cartoons was the fact that they had Boomerang. So at least I knew that my cartoons were going to not completely go away forever. Go away forever? But they went to Boomerang. So if I wanted to watch them, I could at least go there. Having said that, I think that's what they should have done with Cartoonito. Once upon a time, I thought they did have Cartoonito separate from Cartoon Network, just as how they did Boomerang. It sickens me almost to my core every time I turn on Cartoon Network at 6 a.m. in the morning. I love how the introduction is, wake up sleepyheads, it's time to start the day. I like how at 6 a.m. in the morning, Cartoon Network, wakes us up. It transitions from Adult Swim to cartoons that are really cool. And like for the first half hour, they'll probably play like Adventures of Gumball. What a great way to start my morning. But then what gets me going is that they'll roll into like these older cartoons. I don't want to see that right now. I've come to see Cartoon Network. I've come to see the modern day cartoons and the cartoons from my time. It just don't make sense. So reading this paragraph has me asking more questions in my head that I want to write out in here so I don't lose my thought, because this may turn into a part 2 where I'll have to pick up somewhere down the line. So if it turns into a part 2, I'll have all my notes and stuff here. So out of the executive decisions and mismanagements, fans often point out poor executive decisions, such as abruptly canceling popular shows like OKKO. So I'm going to put, why did Cartoon Network abruptly, because that's the word that's used, abruptly cancel OKKO. Let's be, man, I like that show, Heroes. And my next question is, what happened to Infinity Train by Cartoon Network? Let's see here. Let's see here. Let me go here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hey, thank you for coming in. Hello, how are you doing today? I'm writing some notes because, you guys, I wasn't expecting to get all of these answers so quickly. Like, in the way where it's gotten me wanting to ask more questions. So I don't want to lose my train of thought. So I'm writing down what I've just read and stuff, because I want to take my time, That's all right. No apologies. You're under no pressure or obligation to stay here. Thank you for being considerate. Thank you so much. So the next thing I'm writing down is, why did Cartoon Network cancel Infinity Train? So I have those written down. Yes, it is. It sure is. Cat dog. Cat dog. It's a cat dog onesie. Yes, sir. And it's very comfortable as well. So in here, why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? We just read because of executive decisions and mismanagement. And now here's the next reason as to why Cartoon Network scheduling is so terrible. Limited library variety. How? Cartoon Network is the GOAT of creating original cartoons. They were making original cartoons before Netflix was even a thought. You know, now Netflix, they have Netflix original series, Netflix this, Netflix original that. Cartoon Network was already on making their own original things. Johnny Bravo, Chowder, Teen Titans Go, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Powerpuff Girls. I don't remember if Camp Lazlo, I think Camp Lazlo was on Nickelodeon, but Camp Lazlo, when I did watch it, made me laugh. I remember when they introduced the Cartoon Network as a channel. See? Humble beginnings. The very first starts of something so great. It seems to me that Cartoon Network has lost their way. And I'm very sad about that. How could they have lost their way? People got comfortable and lazy. I understand getting comfortable and lazy when your business is doing well. I think every business should have that season in their life when they've worked hard to get comfortable, to get a little lazy, and even put on some weight, but also be still in tune with the changes of the business. Don't get to the point where you become complacent. You've earned it. Live a little, gain some weight, but get back into it. You don't want to lose your way, the complacency of it all. So limited library variety. The network often fails to air its extensive library of classic shows, focusing instead on a small rotation of current programs. The creation of the checkered past, quote, block was an attempt to address this, but it still airs during limited hours and can be superseded by adult programming as early as 5 p.m. Exactly. Adult Swim comes on too dang early. Cartoon Network. Adult Swim comes on too early. WTF. What are you doing? You have so much where you can even have Adult Swim have its own channel. Cartoon Needle can have its own channel. Boomerang has its own channel, and you will get a nice volume of audiences on each channel, because the way Cartoon Network was once originally designed, tailored for, it's like they cared for each age bracket. Now they're just plugging in what works, plugging in what sells, and it's showing. I remember Checker Pass. Now it only comes on for one tiny little hour. So today is, let me make sure I put the date down on here. Thank you for coming in. Good afternoon. In Australia, y'all, it's morning time. So good morning to the Australians who are in here, and good afternoon to the ones who are on Eastern Standard Time. What have you eaten for lunch today, or what are you going to eat for lunch today? So checker past. I'm putting this down. Remembering Cartoon Network's checkered past. Checkered past block. Checkered past used to come on for a good 4 to 6 hours, right? Now it's a stupid hour. And then they roll right in for us. They roll right into King of the Hill. They play King of the Hill for like an hour, and then they roll into Bob's Burgers, to which I like both shows. But like I said, it's too early. Kids are up still. Adult Swim need to be back on at minimum 9 p.m., not 5. That's stupid and thoughtless. I do like cartoons. They're fun. So we have, why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? Here's another answer. Production gap. The nature of animation production means long lead times, which can result in significant gaps between new seasons. That's a poor excuse because Cartoon Network has been out for over 15 years. Heck, I think they've been out for over 20 years now. So they have enough content where they cannot use production gap as an excuse. They have plenty of wonderful cartoons to fill the gap so it won't become repetitious and redundant and overly saturated with Teen Titans Go and, I'm sorry, The Amazing World of Gumball all the time. These are lazy excuses. I roll Cartoon Network. Okay? Production gap. The nature of animation. Production means long lead times, which can result in significant gaps between new seasons. To fill these gaps, the network relies on excessive reruns, which further drives away viewers who find alternative entertainment sources. It's okay for a network to run reruns. It's expected. But they're rerunning the same 2 cartoons over and over. And lastly, target audience shift. The network's target demographic is increasingly abandoning traditional cable TV, leading to declining ratings and less incentive to invest in various 24/7 kid-friendly schedule. The schedule frequently transitions to Adult Swim programming early in the evenings to capture an older, more relatable audience. I don't know which older and relatable audience you're trying to capture, because if you want the quote older and relatable audience to stay locked into your platform, why not rerun some of the things that they or we started watching Cartoon Network for in the first place? Don't tell me just because we're getting up in age, so does the quality of what we want to watch change. It don't change all the time, dog. It just don't make sense. Yeah, and the Hanna-Barbera classics are also on their license too. Yeah, they play Scooby-Doo way too much. It's like they don't. Scooby-Doo have so many spin-offs and adaptations and remixes and remasters and everything. They too could have their own channel. And it's like, who is in charge of scheduling? I'm not even blaming AI on this, because before AI got introduced to the world globally for like regular people, Cartoon Network scheduling was falling off way before that. So in my mind, there's a lazy person just pushing buttons who don't even care about cartoons. And they're just like, just push Teen Titans Go on. Who cares? Like, no, just disregarding their audience, thinking that, oh, who cares? It's just going to be it's just going to be little kids watching it. They're not going to care. That's not how it works. People of all ages still gather around the bonfire to watch Cartoon Network. Hello again from Australia. Let's see here. We have a deeper dive. Let's get into that. I've been on here for almost 40 minutes, and I'm just now getting into the deeper dive of the Cartoon Network information. Cartoon Network scheduling is often criticized by fans for its lack of variety and over-reliance on a few popular shows due to a mix of business decisions, budget constraints, and the rise of streaming and creative mismanagement. Creative mismanagement. I understand a business to hit a slump, to get into some type of funk or stupor. But for how long? Cartoon Network is all about creativity. So how long can creative mismanagement roll over again year after year after year after year? If the creative department is if the management and the creative department is having an issue, it will be logical to assume that they have to then roll up their sleeves and get creative to figure out how to get out of a situation. So if that's the case, should they just fire the creative department if they don't come up with some answers to give them some great numbers and a track rate of consistency? Or have they already done that and this is what we're left with? Cartoon Network is having creative mismanagement. So let me write that down. Cartoon Network Disneyland and Disney World are both creative places, but you don't see them going into a sunken place too long and blaming it on creative mismanagement for them losing hundreds and thousands of dollars. They announced the budget. Oh, Disneyland is plummeting. Yeah, but just because sometimes they have dips in in their finances, it doesn't stop Disneyland and Disney World from constantly creating, not just being stuck on a repetitive loop because it's the easiest, most simplistic, and most lazy-minded thing to do. No, you can only rely on that to keep the things going until you come up with a cemented strategy to get things back on track. Is Cartoon Network having creative mismanagement? That's a long word. Mismanagement. MISMANAGEMENT. So I already have 8 questions listed and I'm not even an hour in yet. So in the deeper dive of is why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? Key reasons for the perceived terrible scheduling include over-reliance on specific shows. For extended periods, the network heavily aired a few high-rating episode shows like Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball, often at the expense of other quality programs. This practice, known as shoving cash cows down people's throat, end quote, aimed to maximize ad revenue, but alienated fans seeking variety. Exactly. Lack of variety and repetition. Fans frequently complain that the same episodes of popular shows are aired multiple times a day or week. Exactly. Even when those series have a large number of episodes available, this lack of rotation makes the schedule feel stale. Exactly, because it's like, if you're going to play Teen Titans Go, can you please at least mix it up? It's like an insult. It's like you're really telling us you don't even care anymore because your pockets are fat. You too have gained weight and you just don't care. I'm going to get a check every week no matter what I program. I can loop the same song, the same episode over for 7 hours and no, they're going to still watch. And someone's still going to watch and I'm still going to get paid. Impact of streaming services. The rise of streaming platforms, especially Warner Brothers Discovery on Max, has siphoned off viewers and content. Many shows are moved to streaming or have their full seasons dropped online, reducing the need for the linear cable channel to air them regularly. Cow and chicken. Buck, 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 buck. That was Robot Chicken song. But yeah, back when we watched Cow and Chicken, when everything was perfect for our scheduling. They respected everybody's age bracket, all the way down to the adults, because Nickelodeon had Nick at Night. Nickelodeon is all messed up too, but I'm not talking about Nickelodeon, even though I'm wearing a Nickelodeon onesie. I'm talking about my care and concern for Cartoon Network. Another reason as to why Cartoon Network scheduling is so terrible, the reason says it says budget constraints and ad sales. Animation is expensive and excuse me, and has long lead times. The network's overall ratings have declined, leading to tighter budgets. Shows that don't sell ad time well are also cut or buried in poor time slots, regardless of their fan popularity. Who's to say? What's their financial cap on what they think is fair return on advertisement campaigns? That's the thing. Don't put all the blame on us. A lot of this goes back to how greedy you are and how much you want to receive from each ad campaign. Greedy like the Super Bowl. Cartoon Network is not the Super Bowl, but it is a champion, well, once upon a time, of leading the roster for go-to channels that you best have on cable if you want entertainment, anything. Best means before streaming took over and you had to decide which cable company you want to go to. You're like, you best have Cartoon Network in one of these budget packages or we're going to fight. Yeah, it needs fixing severely. It seems like they've been off the beaten path for 6 years. It seems like when C-19 hit, Cartoon Network's behind started to show and they couldn't hide it. It's like they got lazier. I don't want to hear because they had to let people go. No, you're a Cartoon effing network. Those are puny excuses because you guys are so creative. Their behinds just showed after C-19 hit, and they didn't even have what's the word? It's like they didn't even have the compassion to even want to course correct that they have been exposed for sloppy programming. They just kept driving down the street, up the road, and like, whatever, losers, because we know you're still going to watch. Yeah, we're still going to watch if we don't want to fill our minds with drama TV all day. We'll turn to Cartoon Network to have some type of peace of mind from hearing bad news all day. But if you're constantly playing the same shows every day back to back, that's just about as bad as watching and listening to reality TV and listening to the news. And MTV, now is MTV gone? Or I know MTV is like gone from how good it used to be. Rest in peace to MTV from the days of old. But is it true that the guy who did that show, is that show over? Did he get fired or did he quit or retire? It's something like that. Yes, and the point about the same episode on the same day. It's tiring, it's like, because I like to keep Cartoon Network on in the background because, like I said, it keeps my mind distracted from all the bad news we're going to see when we watch the 6 o'clock or the 9 o'clock news. So they blamed it on budget constraints, saying that animation is expensive. Ridiculousness is gone. Okay, so that's gone permanently. That's crazy. Wow. And you want to talk about another show that was in constant rotation. Ridiculousness was on constant rotation. And I didn't get it because they could have had their own streaming channel as well. So MTV could thrive. So it's like Cartoon Network and MTV did the same thing. And that term that was used is it was a term in reference to just running the cash cow programs over and over. The shows that made the most money were the shows that they ran over and over. Yes, and it would drive you crazy. Let me go back to my impact of streaming services. The rise of streaming platforms, especially Warner Brothers Discovery on Max, has siphoned off viewers and content. Many shows are moved to streaming to have their full seasons dropped online, reducing the need for the linear cable channels to air them regularly. Thank you so much. Ridiculousness, I could only watch that in small doses. If I had to choose between Ridiculousness or America's Funniest Home Videos, I will pick America's Funniest Home Videos because it was the type of humor that was still tolerable to look at if I wanted to sit down and eat dinner and watch that. Ridiculousness was on a whole nother level where I didn't want to risk eating my dinner because I don't know which way they're going to go as far as kind of like the vulgarity of it all. So if I was forced to choose between one or the other, America Funniest Home Videos will be my thing. Catfish was cool for a moment because at that time of the birth of real life, what does it call it? I just said the word. Basically real TV or so. It was still new and refreshing. And Catfish is basically a second tier level of like girls in real life wearing too much makeup and they wash off all the makeup. You walk right by them because you don't know who they are. So I thought Catfish was pretty much a cool thing because of that. It caught those people in real time. It's got here for the next reason why Cartoon Network scheduling is trash. Budget constraints and ad sales. Animation is expensive and has long lead times. The network's overall ratings have declined. I wonder why. Leading to tighter budgets, shows that don't sell ad time well are often cut or buried in poor time slots, regardless of their fans' popularity. Poor treatment of other shows. Many critically acclaimed shows like OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, Infinity Train, and Summer Camp Island. Yes, Summer Camp Island was so good. It was such an imaginative show. And I primarily seem to gravitate to the cartoons that are camp based. It's really cool. Camp Laszlo. See, Cartoon Network canceled too many shows, and the shows that were working are the ones that they canceled. I don't care what they say. I don't think it had anything to do about ads. Total Drama Island, Total Drama Rama. Yay! Total Drama Rama is basically our modern day Bebe's Kids. I'm here for it. And I'm so happy that they have the chef on there. But he is the dude running the daycare. I'm like, how? He keep him a job. the chef from the babysitter, basically from Total Drama Rama, is basically, he reminds me of Schnitzel from Chowder. They're the same dang on character, but I like them all the same. Shouts out to Schnitzel, Rada, 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 and he'll get an attitude. I like Schnitzel's character so much. So the next cartoon I'm gonna write down is Summer Camp Island. Summer Camp Island is good too. So let me put, why did Cartoon Network? Cartoon Network really has a good thing going, and I want them to climb down from their high horses and take off their triple dark sunglasses and see what they have before they lose it. What's going on, Sizzle Moon Song? I'm up here talking about Cartoon Network. I even added them too, so they can listen to what the people are saying, you and I, about how much they've changed and why they're doing the things they're doing, which is basically boiling down to, unfortunately, what we all know: finances, being greedy and lazy. I just found out that another cartoon that I liked, called Summer Camp Island, was canceled, so I'm writing that down. Summer Camp Island. Summer Camp Island. Summer Camp Island was very imaginative, and the part that caught my attention and won me over with Cartoon Network Summer Camp Island is when they dove into the swimming pool and it took them to another world. I was like, yeah, Cartoon Network, there you go, let's go. It was so fun. It would have like this spacey feel to it. It really brought me into a new world apart from Cartoon Network. Even though it was up of Cartoon Network, it opened up a new atmosphere of Cartoon Network watching Summer Camp Island. I really have friends who are executives at Cartoon Network. Yeah, so hopefully they see this video, because this isn't my first video of me complaining and wondering what's going on with Summer Camp Island, Cartoon Network and all that stuff, right? It makes me sad. I just don't want them to mess up such a good thing. They have an empire. So it says here, under the poor treatment of other shows. Good day and good vibes to you as well. My gym partner's a monkey. Did that get canceled? Because I wanted to see it. I remember seeing the commercials for it, and it caught my attention, the title alone. But it seemed like that cartoon was in and out just like that, so I didn't get a chance to even sit down to entertain it. So it says here, poor treatment of other shows. Many critically acclaimed shows like OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, Infinity Train, and Summer Camp Island, all three shows that I liked, were often given inconsistent time slots, released in marathon-style dumps, airing a whole season in a short period, or were quickly canceled without a fair chance to build an audience. Having read this makes me feel better, because look, I know sometimes life can get hard and I may have issues remembering things, but when I was trying to actually intentionally schedule my time, my life around KO, Let's Be Heroes, Infinity Train, and Summer Camp Island, it was very hard for me to catch it and schedule my work life and my home life so I can build out my free time around these shows. I thought it was because I was forgetting things and I had a lot to juggle, but I was telling my husband, I'm like, these shows aren't coming on consistently. I will sit there and intentionally watch for commercials to see if they will play it. I will go on Cartoon Network and look for the schedule, and I wasn't able to understand the schedule. So here you have it. I got my answer. It wasn't just me. It was just the scheduling so I don't feel so bad, because I try really hard to schedule my free time around these TV shows. It's not every day that a TV show will get my attention to the point where I'm moving my free time around so it can be coinciding with the TV show. Viewership and how it is scheduled. That's what the article's been saying. And it is weird because it seems so biased, the viewership of it all. Because right now, hello, thank you for coming in. How are you doing? Right now, what I'm gathering from the article, what Cartoon Network is doing is playing the shows that are considered cash cows. And their two main cash cows are Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball. So they've got those on constant cycle of rotation. And one of my cool peeps mentioned like MTV. You know how they're constantly replaying ridiculousness over and over and over, making it quite obvious that that's MTV's cash cow. So force us to watch something that is giving maximum views, thusly helping with the advertisement of it all. It's still a sad thing though. That's why TiVo became popular for so long. Exactly. I thought that device/invention was really awesome and cute. Even down to the lettering and the packaging of it all. That's a good point. I like that. That is why TiVo became popular so long ago. So another reason as to why Cartoon Network scheduling is so terrible is as follows. Adult Swim expansion. Adult Swim, which targets an older demographic and often has better ratings, has gradually expanded its broadcast hours, leading to the main Cartoon Network programming ending earlier in the evening, sometimes as early as 5 p.m. Yes, not Cartoon Network. Adult Swim comes on for us now at 5 p.m. And that's trash because I grew up on Cartoon Network where they would have all the cool cartoons come on, but you could tell as the time waned on and when the sun started to set, their cartoons started to graduate from, pre-K, kindergarten, teen, 16, 17-year-old types of cartoons. It will have the Tsunamis. Then it will go into the Adult Swim. A soft transition and roll from family-oriented cartoons, teenager cartoons, to the 23-year-olds and so on. It was a nice rollout, and that's how I used to time my place when I was at home, getting chores done and marking where I should be throughout my day, not only with the sun being in proxy of the sky, but I matched it with where I should be at a certain time based on which shows came on Cartoon Network and what set they were on. But it's so weird because I don't have that to go by anymore, and I really miss that. Reality is, you unfortunately are not the target audience, age demographic most likely to, which is also true. And I was wondering that because there was a point brought up on here where it pretty much said something on the lines of what you're saying, Sizzle Moon. But in my cases, I'm wondering if Adult Swim is becoming so popular to the point that they had to sacrifice the really cool cartoons, which is supposed to be in the time bracket for the younger kids. Adult Swim is on the rise because they start at 5 p.m. now, way before dinner time. So that means it's still us, right? You would think that because the word adult is in there. But the way these kids are now, these kids have advanced really fast. They've matured really fast, whether they want to or not. No thanks to modern technology, access to information, and poor upbringings. Combine all that, and you've got a super intelligent child. So, having said that, I'm not going to accept completely the fact that Adult Swim is holding the audience for adults, as such as myself, but a lot of these viewers for Adult Swim are from the children, which says a lot about the world. But if that's the case, why not usher in more Toonami with the fighting and the Gundam wings and intense, thought-provoking, in-depth storylines to also engage the people who are watching Adult Swim? Why not incorporate more of that? I would rather at least see more Toonami style cartoons on before Adult Swim. If anything, at 5 o'clock, let's have our checkered pass be off at minimum for an hour, which is not long enough. 5 to 6 will be checker pass. And then let's roll into Toonami. At least till 9, and then kick it into Adult Swim. It takes a lot to sway the lineup. Yeah, and a large audience of letter writing or direct contact to the network. Wow. Do you think people will want to letter write anymore? I like to write letters. That stuff is fun. It's become, well, when I was growing up, even in my time, they were saying that letter writing, or AKA snail mail, was becoming more of a lost art or something. They classified writing letters to people as some type of ancient art, which is crazy, you know? But yeah, I would love that if you want to. There's no pressure, but I would love that. I have a playlist when I'm talking about Cartoon Network and my grievances and suggestions, because you guys, I do not want to see Cartoon Network go under. Cartoon Network is basically MTV. I don't want them to lose their authenticity. I want Cartoon Network to see what a jewel they have despite the changing of the economy. I want Cartoon Network from the outside looking in not to be afraid to stand in how great they are and show these other corporations how to do it. They have so much creativity. And I said earlier, Netflix, before there was a Netflix anything, Cartoon Network, to me, were the pioneers of making anything original. Cartoon Network original, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Chowder, Teen Titans Go. Letter writing includes posts on sites, emails, phone calls, etc. It's all direct contact, not just snail mail. Yeah. So thank you in advance for doing that. If you still want to do that, I would love that. I don't want Cartoon Network to lose. Thank you so much for considering that as an option, Sizzle Moon Song. Cartoon Network has so much merch. It's like they could do so much more and not get lost in the sauce of the streaming stuff. It's got here in reference to why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible. It has mismanagement and executive decision. Yikes. Decisions by executives have been cited as a major factor, which claims of mismanaging their library, making bad market predictions, and having troubled relationships with content creators. Now, there's always going to be some type of disruption going on in-house, but to what extreme must this go on till it starts affecting the bottom line? That's my concern. And it seems like they've been having issues for more than 6 years now with this mismanagement and executive decision stuff. Decisions by executives have been cited as a major factor, which claims of mismanaging their library, making bad market predictions, and having troubled relationships with content creators. Cartoon Network has a wonderful library, but I want to say shout out to Cartoon Network for when they first started, because they were playing like the Looney Tunes, Meryl's Melodies, cartoons and stuff. You had to start somewhere, but they've come a long way from there, and they started to grow their own legs, like that fish from Amazing World of Gumball. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. That's you, Cartoon Network, and now you made it. I just want Cartoon Networks to be as strong as Gumball's family. They have disagreements and stuff, but they always come back around and finish strong. And lastly, it says here, ultimately, the perceived decline in scheduling quality is a complex issue driven by the changing media landscape and the focus on short-term financial performance over long-term audience engagement with a diverse range of animated content. He's a very cool, fun, intelligent guy, an open, caring heart and spirit. I really value his friendship, but of course he's not the top of the food chain. And he has said those same things you just mentioned. Wow. Yeah. You know, Cartoon Network, it's a place for people who don't want to go to Disneyland or Disney World, or may not feel like they have the confidence to work at MTV yet. Or maybe MTV is a little bit too grown for them. But Cartoon Network is that safe haven for everybody. I'm talking about from a place from when they first started. There's a lane for everybody in Cartoon Network. Once upon a time it was. And I sought after that because they had the age brackets on this wonderful timeline down to a science. It was like they actually cared about the science of TV programming, cared about the engagement time and interaction time before the word interaction was really prevalent now, thanks to social media. They had windows where they had stuff for the little kids, windows when they had stuff for like the elementary to middle school and so on. And if they had a group of people in charge of those time frames, it's like I could see it and feel it through their programming of commercials. It's just something you could feel. They bring in people from other networks with no clue how things work there, who make sweeping changes. That's what I was sensing. It was sudden. And I noticed the sudden sweeping change. I like those words you're using. When Chowder was wrapping up. Soon after Chowder, it seemed like they kind of was rushing him off too. I started seeing things change. But when Chowder cartoon was done, that's when things started moving so fast, and I wasn't able to keep up with Cartoon Network. Yeah, they bring in people from other networks with no clue on how things work there, who make sweeping changes which disrupt the overall work environment and programming too. That's what it is. That's what I felt. And it's like they're still standing on shaky ground with that. Because this summer, I was so happy because I saw some changes when they had started running Cartoonito. I made a video asking, why are you guys putting Cartoonito on in Cartoon Network, around 7 a.m. in the morning? We don't want to see that. Cartoonito used to be an entity of its own under the umbrella of Cartoon Network. Boomerang is an entity on its own under the umbrella of Cartoon Network. Why not leave Cartoonito there? And it seemed like they stopped for a moment in time, but they brought it back again, and now they have Barney on there. It's like, no, and this new Barney is trash, guys. And the graphics of this Barney is so bright. It's like if you look at a negative, you guys remember negatives? If you get a camera from a Kodak camera and you hold it up, the negative up to the light, and it's all, the color's all blasted and blown out, but you can still see it. That's how Barney looks now. It's too hard on the eyes, and the voice don't match with the character. It's awful. Cartoon Nito don't need to be on there. Hercules the Shark comes on Fridays. Thank you for asking. If you missed Hercules the Shark yesterday, he did a Thanksgiving special yesterday, if you're interested. He has complained about getting burnt out on the vibe. Oh my gosh, and work when the network was sold out from under them and forced into being about ad money. Yes, rather than entertainment and creators artistry. Exactly. The article mentions that. I'm going to go back to it. I made sure to bookmark this first. But sadly, it did mention the ads. Let me go down here and read. Rise of streaming services, executive decisions, limited library variety, production gaps, target audiences. Where was that at when it mentioned? Pretty much it was focusing on ads, the shows that brought in the money basically for ads. Let me go to deeper dive on here and see. There's got to be a way that everybody can win. Corporate seems to be masters at having their cake and eating it too, so why not gather around the table and figure out how you can untarnish Cartoon Network's name and still make money at the same time. It's like we're missing that piece. McDonald's seems to be waking up because they turned into zombies and vampires, but now they're starting to incorporate the creators, the characters that help make them who they are today, like Hamburglar, the Fry Kids, Birdie. You know, they're starting to incorporate those glimpses of happiness into, you know, their mainstream advertisement again. If you slowly rely on one thing over time, when that one thing breaks, by default, it's going to crumble, and I don't want that to happen with Cartoon Network because they seem to be resting on this one thing that works. But time goes on and the one thing that works is not going to work. It seems to me, my concern is Cartoon Network is not planning for the someday, one day, when the one good thing that kept them going, that allowed them for minimalistic work production, which generated high yields financially in ads, one day that's not going to work anymore. And I do not think they will be ready. And I don't want that to happen. So I found it over-reliance on cash cows tactics. McDonald's just brought them back out of a sense of nostalgia. And they are trying to get back the people that hate their 30 and 40-year-olds who long since ago abandoned them. Exactly, they are. Yup. Last time I watched TV, Coast to Coast with Space Ghost was still on Cartoon Network. I liked watching that. And they even revived Space Ghost. That was fun. It would have me rolling. They actually played a little Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, the modern episodes when he was a host with the Mantis. They did play him during this past summer, and it was during the Checker Past, and I wish they played more Checker Past. So here it is. It says over-reliance on cash cows. It reads, the schedule has been dominated by a few high-rating episodic shows. Most notably Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball. This approach is an attempt to maximize ad sales and secure ratings. but leaves little room for other shows, resulting in the lack of variety and repeated episodes of the same series. Having said that, if this is the way that Cartoon Network want to go, how about get creative in expanding your said cash cows into spin-offs, incorporating them into commercial beds? If this is the way you want to go or rest your hat on, even your most prized possession, horse, is going to get tired. I'm going to read that one more time for myself so the answer can sink in clearly as to basically this is why Cartoon Network is the way they are right now, over reliance on cash cows. The schedule has been dominated by a few high-rating episodic shows, most notably Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball. This approach is an attempt to maximize ad sales and secure ratings, but leaves little room for other shows, resulting in a lack of variety and repeated episodes. Now, Gumball, they're finished. They're not making new episodes, but Teen Titans Go is. They started making new episodes maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they come out every Saturday. But we still need more. And the more don't necessarily have to mean more from making new content. Because Cartoon Network, y'all have so much stuff that y'all could put in rotation where we wouldn't even have to see a rerun for a whole year if y'all planned it out right. Yeah. So some of you may be wondering, if you're talking about Cartoon Network, why are you wearing Nickelodeon stuff? I've been looking around for a BMO onesie, but I actually don't like the design of the BMO onesie. It's pretty plain. I don't want Jake the dog. I don't want Finn the human, but I do want an Adventure Time onesie by way of Cartoon Network. But I did see a BMO hoodie. So that will have to do until I can find a Cartoon Network onesie that's very expressive as the ones I've been wearing previously. So, yep, that's why I'm wearing cat dog. And I'm talking about Cartoon Network. But you want to know something funny, though? Because I see Nickelodeon commercials on Cartoon Network now. Currently, they are running the SpongeBob SquarePants commercials on Cartoon Network, promoting SpongeBob celebrating Thanksgiving for the rest of this week, basically till the end of this month. So it's like, it's no different now. It's just like once upon a time, it was so taboo for you couldn't work at Walmart if you worked at Kmart, and you couldn't work at Kmart if you worked at Walmart. Once upon a time, it used to be like that, but now it seems like it doesn't even matter. Oh no, it's more likely that another network will pop up to fill the void at some point, or it will go the same way as many networks and die out altogether. And I don't want that. But I can see it coming. You guys, I have gotten my answers to this point of why is Cartoon Network scheduling so terrible? Within this, I have come up with 9 other different questions that I want to ask, but I will have to say that for another day. I want to thank everybody for coming in, for chiming in earlier and pressing the like button and sharing your experiences, your memories of the shows, and your input on MTV, and how MTV's pretty much is doing the same thing by constantly punching in ridiculousness because that was their cash cow that worked. But I just found out one of my cool people said ridiculousness is no more. So does that mean it's the end for MTV because the leg they rested on for many years has folded? Yikes. Thank you so much, Sizzle Musang, for your valuable information in reference to Cartoon Network. And I am sorry for your friend that he's going through that, because if we're sharing the same sentiments, and I don't even work there, but he works there, it's got to be a sad thing to see. It's like your dream job. You see it's changing, There's nothing wrong with change, but you see it changing in a way that is leading to a death, and you don't want that. And you're trying to be like, please don't do this. I can't make you do this, but I'm strongly suggesting maybe we take these small steps. Years have passed now, and none of the seasoned with grace ideas and strategies don't seem like they've been implemented. So much time has happened, and it's like, what do you do? I don't want to see this come to an end. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. It's nothing to figure out, but that's me just saying, yeah, I don't want Cartoon Network to lose. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in. That's my video today regarding Cartoon Network. It's already added to my Cartoon Network playlist where I'm talking about other things regarding Cartoon Network. I'm from the days when MTV was just music videos, so I do not even recognize them at all anymore. I remember MTV when they first started out as music too. So when they started to incorporate, should I say, human people TV shows, it didn't register. It still don't register because it's supposed to be all about music. And it's not anymore. It's not. Shouts out to the MTV of old and Cartoon Network of old. Thank you everybody for coming in. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'm glad that you came in, and I hope you're having a good time. I got to get ready to go get something to eat. It is 1:53 p.m. over here. It's past my lunchtime. Thank you guys for coming into the premiere that went on Spot the Difference season finale that came on right before this live stream. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a great day, and I will see you Monday morning. Bye.